one coming in from yeah, I guess from Elena says um Pokemon players can't pronounce French. Dear Carl Barber. Not sure. Okay. There's a character in Pokemon called Lysandre. Uh,
Yeah.
Now, please give the chat a minute to get mad at Woolie for pronouncing it wrong.
That's great. You mean Lysander?
Uh, Now, please
That's
give the chat.
great.
Now, please give the chat a minute to get mad at Woolie for pronouncing it wrong, even though he probably said it correctly.
He did.
Uh, so, Lysander
Yeah, it's the
is the
English
main
pronunciation of
antagonist of
Lysandre.
Pokemon X and
Yeah.
Y, set in the French-based region. There's Poke Eiffel Tower and everything. Now,
Yeah,
obviously,
no. In X and Y, it is in France. Like, it is absolutely appropriate to be Lysandre.
Lysandre is a actual French name with an actual correct pronunciation, but unfortunately, games do not have voice acting, and
Yeah.
uh, Lysander has a different name in Japanese, so most people pronounce it lie sander, as in to tell a lie, and sanding. This goes for people who worked on the English dub of the Pokemon anime as well, meaning the only official Pokemon media to say his name out loud says it this way, and it's how most fans have been saying it. Now, Lysander is also an actual name. It's the Greek equivalent of Lysandre,
Yeah.
both sharing the same root. It's also spelled Lysander with an ER, not an RE, because of that, because they're different names with different spellings and pronunciations from two different languages. They're not interchangeable, right? The spelling is different. This is literally the equivalent of a character named Michelle, but everyone calls them Michael, including the official translators. This has frustrated me for
Oh,
years on end,
you
and I
think
hope it
that's
frustrates you
bad?
too.
Try fucking Wooly. How many Michels did you know that were men spelled Michel, and Michels that you knew that were girls that were
LL,
Michellle with no pronunciation difference?
of course, yes. Just this week, I met a Gabrielle, you know, which is
Yeah.
like, and it's a, do you, what do you prefer, Gabrielle or Gabriel? Like, it's up to the person ultimately how they want to pronounce it. But the weird shit about that is that, when the individual, because again, think of all the again, anyone with a Cajun name that's pronounced in the American way instead of the French way, even though it's a French
Yeah.
origin name. If that's what they have been calling themselves as a family name, then it's what the person wants it to be, right? But when it's a fictional character and it's coming from a place that, as he said, is like it's actually France, and then it actually has the RE and etc. Yeah, there's it's fucked, man. It's fucked. There's nothing you can do.
Well, I mean, that's how you end up with stuff like Altria.
Yeah, sure. It's supposed to be this, but if the creator says it's not, shut up.
Yeah.
But in
That's
this
how that's
particular
how you
case,
fucking the 15, 20 year long fight over Aerith versus Eris.
yeah. But like, I guess I'm trying to, because I'm like, what's the version of this where the language being switched into is one that the audience actually can speak, therefore they can see why it's weird? Because right now, because you don't speak French, you're like, oh, well, no,
Oh,
Lysander is easier to say, so it's
I've
less
got
weird.
one.
But what's the one where
I've
it's the
got
one
one.
you speak, so you don't fight, so it goes the
The
other?
most famous one of all.
Mm-hmm.
Good old carrot, vegetable, broccoli, piccolo, etc. Dragon Ball being made by a Japanese guy and using like fucking English vegetable fucking names for every character
Mm-hmm.
and just bouncing right off. Like, what? The guy's name is fucking broccoli?
Bloomers,
Why?
not Bulma.
Free
But
freezer,
okay, but
radishes.
no, but for this to work, it has to do this thing with Lysander, where like the setting and the name are picked as a deliberate thing from this place that is, in this case, French. But because of translation shenanigans, it ends up being not the actual thing it was picked to be.
That's slightly tougher. That's slightly tougher.
Like, I mean, Vargas Balgus is a kind of a thing that pops up from time to time.
Pretty fucking bad. That's pretty
where
bad.
you're like, no, English speakers, it's supposed to be Balgas. That's an annoying one. But yeah, I think you guys can understand and get the part where it's like, there's an Eiffel Tower in this Pokemon setting, like it's that French, and they went with the French spelling on it.
Poke France.
And so,
God, I just said the word France, and I'm tip of your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I can remember.
Oh, Shimon.
Persona 5.
Okay.
Persona 5, where characters can't even say their own last names correctly.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, totally. Kamatami and all that. Yes. Shimon. Shimon is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Because it feels weird to anybody who understands that the word Simon is a name that is expected and was probably intended, and it became Shimon as a result of the original language voice acting, and then now if you call it Shimon, you're copying an incorrect pronunciation of the name that was originally Simon.
Very likely. No, it was Shimon the whole time, just like it was Gatsu, you asshole.
Yeah. So that's probably the closest equivalent, if anything. And
Gatsu and my Griffisu.
Fight to the death on that one. Yeah. Anyway. I mean, but like, things have multiple, like, pronunciations to begin with anyway, and like, proper things do. I mean, Montreal and Montreal are the same place. It just depends on, like, what you decide.
Do you remember that old, God, do you remember that old commercial? I think it was for a phone company.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a guy down at, like, some Texan warehouse had to call Montreal in order to fucking get some kind of work thing done. And he loads up the phone and goes, bonjour, Montreal.
Oh, yeah.
And then like a lady just responds to him in English and goes, oh, hey, how can I help you? And he's like, oh, thank God. That commercial is actually, like, darkly hilarious now, come to think of it. Yeah, those were the good old days, huh? All right.
Yeah. I see someone going, Montreal, the fuck? So, yeah, no, here, people from here, like, if you're saying it in French, you say Montreal, you don't say Montreal. It's just,
yeah, why would you say, like,
Mount Royal.
People in Germany don't call it Germany. They call it Deutschland, because in German, it's Deutschland.
In Japan, it's Nippon, or Nihon, and if you're feeling patriotic.